Hey guys, I am a Christian, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a verse from the Bible that is a business principle, but it's also a biblical principle. I first thought of doing this kind of a series based on my dad sharing a story with me here recently about biblical principles in the Bible. And so I'm going to be going through a series of 10 different videos with 10 different biblical and business principles stemming from the Bible, what God literally says. And I think this could be a help to you. Some of these might be considered more basic, fundamental processes of a business, but God says to do it in business and in your life in general. And so I think these are great principles to live by. And I'm going to go ahead and get into that in just a second. I do want to just say one thing that I believe it's in James 1:5. It says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask of God, who gives generously without finding fault, and it will be given to you." I know for myself, I lack wisdom on a regular basis, and I need to ask of it. I need help. I need encouragement. I need to be pointed in the right direction. So that's what I'm doing in my life in general. That's what I want to do for the business as well. And so let's go ahead and jump into the first biblical principle that's also a business principle in your dumpster rental business. Proverbs 24, verse 27 says, "Prepare your work outside, get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after that, build your house." Equating this to our dumpster rental businesses out here that we're all pursuing, if you were to start your business without really getting in the field, doing your market research, finding out what really is going on in your market, that would be considered out of order. That would be a problem. This passage is literally talking about doing your own research. There's lots of videos on YouTube talking about that. It's all for a reason. It's literally in the Bible. To have the right process and order, you need to get in the field to find out what's going on before you build your house, before you go take action. And whether you're starting your business or maybe adding to your business, whatever that may be, that next step is, before you go and build that next thing, you need to prepare. You need to get everything ready and in order before you go out and pursue, before you go attack that next thing. Seemingly, there's so many people out there who maybe don't know where to start, who don't know what to do, but they know they should be doing something, so they just start making big decisions. And that's a good thing, that you can make big decisions and that you're able to pull triggers and take action. But before we get into that, before we get all too excited, we've got to be able to get in the field to find out what's really going on. What is this going to look like? If I'm going to build this business, if I'm going to build this house, I've got to find out what's the layout. What is it going to look like? How is this going to be? How is this going to fit around the surroundings of it? How are you going to fit into your local market? Is there already, houses or homes built around it, or multiple other businesses nearby? Like, what's the competition going to look like? How is this going to fit as far as your financial situation with your own personal family? How much money can you put into it? What is it going to look like as far as marketing? How much time can you allocate to the business? What are you even able to purchase as far as dump trailers, utility trailers, or an actual roll-off truck with bins? What is this going to look like? How is it sustainable? How long could you go with getting this built and put in process? Like, there's so many aspects to getting into a business. The Bible literally says to prepare, to get into the field, to look around, to check it out, to poke around, to ask questions, to find out before you go do the work, before you start building. And then you find out, oh dear, there's a lot more things about this business that I anticipated that I don't understand it. I wasn't ready for this. It's going to cost me more money, the insurance, getting legal, making sure your books are good. Like, all of these things are a factor in starting your own business. And so this is an incredible biblical and business principle that you don't want to put the cart before the horse. You need to do things in an orderly fashion. God is a God of order, not chaos. He does things intentionally. He's specifically doing things in a certain order, in a pattern. And so for me as a Christian, I'm thinking, man, I want to follow that pattern. It makes sense. It's logical. It's thoughtful. And so if you're going to be starting a business, do your market research, find out, ask those questions. Ask about the questions that you don't know you need to be asking. Hey, what does it really look like if things were to be worst case scenario? What would happen? What would it look like if things were the best case scenario? I had the dumpster, your first dumpster rented out every single week. What would that look like? What does the scale, the long-term prediction or the picture look like in 2, 3, 4 years? What does it look like for my minimum operating costs to be legal, to be legit, to be able to sleep in your bed at night and not worry about, well, what happens if I get pulled over? I don't have insurance for this or that, or, cutting corners, for you to get in the field, to find out, to get the information. There's so much material out there. There's so many conversations being had in Facebook groups, online, just looking up business, startup costs in general. Look that up online, find out the insurance, being able to piece things together, not building your house before you prepare and get ready. You need to get in the field and find out. And I think it's bigger than just, quote unquote, building the house or building the business, starting the business. This is an ongoing process. Before you start making decisions, you need to be finding out, scoping things out, reevaluating things. This is much bigger than just, well, I'm going to, check out, do the research to begin with, and then I'm just going to kind of bounce along all over the place. This is not ping pong. This is not, tennis or something. Like, you need to constantly be evaluating things. When you make decisions in your business, it's going to affect bigger things than just that one decision. It can have a much bigger effect on your overall situation. And so if you are in business, it's my recommendation to you. It's in God's word, literally saying that you should be in the field, do the research, find out, ask questions before you start taking that action. That's an ongoing thing. So if you're a year or 2 years into it like I am, you should be reevaluating, looking at the first year's numbers, looking at the second year's numbers as soon as you can, looking at each quarterly. What does this look like? What does the long-term scale projection-wise look like? I've recently been in a live stream where I was talking about, last year's, proportionally, sort of as far as percentage-wise, last year's October and November and then December years, the last quarter, I'm looking at, okay, so it dropped, it picked up, it went, I'm looking at that and looking, this year I'm, to the degree I can't predict things, but I'm looking ahead. I'm doing what I can to see what happened last year and giving a reasonable, worst case scenario thought, and then going, okay, this is what I think that's going to possibly look like this year. And then kind of go from there. We constantly should be reevaluating where we're at, how things are playing out in our business, and basically applying ourselves before we start getting into deep, deep trouble because we're just swiping our card, we're signing documents, we're doing things without thinking through this stuff. A lot of people get in trouble because they get excited, they see some numbers coming in, and then they just kind of go wild. And they dig themselves into deeper, deeper debt. They haven't focused on the things that they should have to begin with, getting your processes in order as far as advertising, word of mouth, organic traffic, all of those things in your business. We need to do the right things in order before we start pulling triggers later on. And so this is a biblical principle to you. It's nothing new. This is a business principle, but it's very important. If God's saying it to me, I want to follow that. And so that's what I did starting out in the business, doing my own research in the field, finding out. And I've learned you don't know everything. You don't know all the questions to ask at the beginning, but you should be asking the questions. Acknowledging that you don't know, that you do lack the wisdom, which I know I do. I'm still asking questions. People who are further down the road in business, finding out, what should I be even thinking about right now? What does this look like? And so for you, I hope that's what you're doing, whether you're just starting, whether you're in it, or maybe you're light years ahead. We should always be willing to ask questions, to make decisions after we've put some thought into it and been intentional about this stuff. So I hope this was a help to you. If it was, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button if you got good value out of it. I hope you enjoy this series. It's not going to be every single video from here on out. It'll probably be spaced out throughout the next several other videos. So if you enjoyed this type of video, please let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you have a great day today. Stay safe, guys, and God bless.